Reichman. I'm a journalist. I work with Finance Magnates. Welcome to the Institutional Lounge. Before we start the product pitch, the FX Factor, Jonathan Fine had a few words to say. He's the head of content and projects at Finance Magnates.
Hi, good evening. This is quite an intimate show, so first we apologize for the inconvenience. People are still making their ways, the queues are long, and this is the result. So welcome to the London Summit. Thanks for coming. I'm very excited to be standing here, seeing our hard work finally materialize. I'd like to thank our team, who is still working for us outside, as well as our sponsors, CFH Clearing, Divisa, and Gain Capital, who support us. Also with us today is our charity partners, Giving What We Can, represented on the panel of judges by Mr. Mark Barnes. Thank you. Giving What We Can will be offering later on today and tomorrow a few copies of their book, Doing Good Better, which outlines their intriguing ideas about doing good better in finance. Of course, lastly, I'd like to thank you for being here with us. As you see, it's not something to underestimate. Every year has its own defining event. Last year, the impact of the S&P turmoil was clear and immediate. In 2016, we have the Brexit, and now the election of Donald Trump. Two plot twists whose full implications cannot be assessed yet. Our evening will revolve around more immediate market and industry needs. Regulation has been brought up by most industry participants as a major current challenge, and we have two pitches lined up that will cover it from different angles. Blockchain is still disrupting the machinery of finance, and best execution and pricing remain at the core of our business. These pitches should be of interest for everyone in this room. On behalf of Finance Magnates, I wish you all an enjoyable evening and a productive and fun event. If you have any questions or big scoops to leak, which we'd like better, please approach us after the show. Thank you.
2016 is supposed to be a major turning point for fintech. I'm hearing things like volatility is the new normal, which means that resilience is starting to become incredibly important in the markets. A lot of this means big opportunities for startups, and 5 of which we'll be having today presenting for us. It's my pleasure to introduce them to you, along with the judges, who will be selecting among the competitors. So I will start with Pete Eggleston. BestX is a company that provides interactive, real-time post-trade analytics in the FX TCA space. Chris Ward will follow him from StarHat, a specialist enterprise financial technology supplier. Paul Bailey from Phonetic, which is a major player in the voice analytics market, bringing together speech analytics, sentiment analysis, and unstructured data. Ron Finberg from CapTech, a financial technology boutique offering bespoke trading and reporting solutions. And Dima from Leica, a company building a global marketplace for all asset classes and financial instruments using distributed ledger technology. Our judges, and please just raise your hand as I go, Eddie Tofpick, who's head of FX at ADM ISI, Paul Houston, global head of FX at CME Group, Mark Barnes from charity partner Giving What You Can, Diego Rothstein, head of corporate development at Gain Capital, and Tom Gilly, a retired head of trading. Thank you very much for being here. And without further ado, let me tell you the process. Each of these firms are going to get 5 minutes to showcase their product and how their solution is meeting a market need. I'm going to provide a 1-minute warning, which you'll see on that screen there as the countdown goes. And at the end of each pitch, the judges will ask questions. And if there's any questions from the audience, please throw up your hand and we can take them then. At the end of the session, you and the judges will vote for the most outstanding institutional FX product award. Audience has 30% weighting, the judges will have 70% weighting, and there are pens and voting notes on your seats, which I'm sure you can see. The winner doesn't get announced until tomorrow afternoon at the concluding ceremony. at the main speakers' hall, and that is pretty much the format of our Dragon's Den. So I'm happy to invite Pete Eggleston, the first FX Factor contender.
Good evening, everybody. Thanks very much for the opportunity to come and participate this evening, and thank you to the Finance Magnates. Best X, I actually think now, after having the briefing an hour ago, the hardest thing we're going to have is we're told to inject humour into the session. I'm not sure I can actually make best execution in any shape or form funny. So I apologise to Jonathan on failing on that account. But anyway, Best X, who are we? So basically, Best X is a technology firm. We are a pure independent technology firm. We are not aligned with any executing broker or venue in any shape or form. We're helping our clients define, achieve, record, demonstrate best execution. Now, this isn't fintech in the classic disruptive fintech. This is much more collaborative capital markets fintech. What we're really talking about doing here is providing a utility to the market for anyone who's participating in the market, for anyone who's trying to measure their execution performance. So the goal is simple. It's providing a level playing field to allow clients to assess and compare the quality of their execution they receive. And that is agnostic of how they receive that, depending on whether what product they may be using, or platform, or channel, or counterparty. Just a level playing field with which they can compare and contrast their execution. To our knowledge, we're the only ones that are truly independent in this space. And there's a simple license-based fee model around the software. So there's no conflict of interest around any analysis that we provide. It's a totally unbiased platform in that sense. And our clients, as I say about providing a utility, our clients are very much on both on buy side and sell side in the broadest possible sense. So on the buy side, obviously, the asset management community, hedge funds, global macro, CTA, a whole range of different clients, large corporates, etc. But also a lot of banks and non-bank liquidity providers we're in very active discussions with. It's about providing, as I say, very much a utility. So why does best execution matter? I'm not going to go through any of these slides because they were just here for background in case we need to. There are really three key drivers why anyone should be interested. Really, obviously, the regulatory responsibilities and requirements now, and we're not going to go into those in 2 minutes, 35 seconds, but clearly there are a lot of them: fair and effective markets review, the MiFID II, senior managers regime, etc., etc. We're helping clients deliver on those. The fiduciary responsibilities now, the asset owners are really much more activist and vocal upon the managers with regards to delivering on the best execution requirements. And thirdly, there's very much a focus on just purely saving money and improving returns in a world of low yield, and maybe that world is now going to come to an end, but in a world of low yield and challenging return environment, every basis point counts. It's not just a regulatory box-ticking exercise. It really is also about making tangible improvements to the bottom line. How do we differentiate? There are really three key differentiators for Best X. One, as I mentioned, is the total independence, delivering completely conflict-free analytics and results. Secondly, a lot of this sort of best execution language and analytics is really coming from, as we know, from the equities market and the listed space in general. A lot of those models don't always work in an OTC space. We are the only OTC people doing this for OTC clients. This is an OTC delivered product. It's not trying to shoehorn or repurpose equity models into something like FX or fixed income. It generally doesn't work, and then lots of people have tried. And thirdly, by being a pure tech firm, it's really giving us a second mover advantage. There are a lot of competitors we have in this space. Some of them have been around a number of years. What we've found since we launched on January the 26th is purely by the sheer nature of the technology that's now available to us, we've been able to build a tech stack which is truly unique in this analytics space. For example, it's totally real time. Our competitors, from what clients tell us, are not able to deliver these analytics at point of trade in real time. It's all on a T+1 or in some cases T+ several months basis. It's not pure PDF. It's a very interactive UI. Clients can slice and dice the data. the tech has been a real differentiator for us in this space. So I've got 30 seconds. So just to finish off, we are live with our first product. Our first product went live on 5th of September on target. That's our post-trade product. We're building pre-trade now, that goes live in Q1, and then we're extending across into other OTC markets. We have about 35 clients currently testing or onboarding with us, and we've won a number of vendor selection processes against major competitors. Well, I've got 5 seconds left, so all I'll say is thank you very much for your time. Thanks.
Hi. So I think best execution is quite a complicated concept, and obviously it's something that's in the literature and regulation. What is best execution mean to you as a firm when you're delivering it? And what kind of outputs do you give for a company? Do you say, yes, that's well executed, or no, that's badly executed? And what kind of responsibility do you have?
So there's loads in there. So best execution, totally agree. Very, very broad term that means many things, many different things to different people, and everyone's best ex policy is different. The MiFID II definition is one of the better definitions I've seen, and it talks about achieving the best possible results for a client, taking into account a range of factors around the execution process. It's not best price, it's not just pure cost, it's basically taking into account a range of the different factors. And those factors might be the available liquidity, the speed of execution, etc. There's a range of factors. So the output, in terms of what we present, Mark, very much is a dashboard of information on a per trade basis and on a portfolio basis that we then aggregate into almost like a scorecard, almost a qualitative type scorecard summary of these different factors. It's not a tick or a cross, no, it wasn't achieved or it was achieved. It's more nuanced than that. And I think those decisions need to be made on a much more a grander level, looking at large portfolios of trades over long periods of time. You can't look at any one trade and say, well, that was rubbish. So the scorecard type approach, this qualitative approach, using a lot of the quant models that sit underneath, give us that sort of summary of, yeah, the trade may look very good on a cost point of view, maybe it created more impact than we would have liked. The information leakage perhaps was more excessive than another trade, and there's a range of different nuances around it. So that's what we're doing around best ex and our responsibilities. So we're not an advisory firm in any shape or form. So our responsibilities are really just providing the pure analytics and the data and the results. Clients can, basically, I guess one of the taglines is all around helping clients make more informed decisions. So they're giving them the output, giving them the results and the data to basically make much more informed decisions around execution. We're not sort of sitting there being a judge saying this was bad, this was terrible. They've got all the data to make their own decisions. And that's key in why we presented the UI to be a very graphical interface to allow clients to very quickly assess the quality themselves and understand the output. It's not a black box.
You mentioned a few differentiators. How does that translate into actual results? So if you looked at an asset manager or corporate looking at best execution, how would you look at your results, your analytics compared to some of the other providers in the street?
So from what we're told, and this is just based on what clients have told us who have taken our product that we launched in September, our analytics are more extensive. There's a lot of stuff on the street which just looks at pure cost. So they'll just take where a client got filled, come up with an estimate of mid and say, well, that's your cost, that's your best ex, done. And our view is best execution is much more broad than that. So from what clients tell us, the analytics suite is unique in the way that we can estimate true fair value of cost. So we've got an expected cost measure in there. The way we look at algos and we look at signaling risk, clients tell us that's unique. So we're trying to differentiate not just in the look and feel of how we present results, but very much in the actual, the analytics that are provided. It's not just a simple taking where someone got filled and subtracting the mid.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, sorry. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks.
Sorry. next presenter is Chris Ward of Star Hat.
There we go. Now you can hear me. Right, Star Hat Solutions. We are a specialist software house that provides front and back office trading solutions. The people in Star Hat have been around for many, many years doing lots of different things, and we come together, and today I want to talk to you about our liquidity management tools, which are one of the things that we're offering. Right, so first, let's create a currency pair. Let's choose shells and shiny things because that's probably going to be the most valuable thing this year. So shell shiny is our new currency pair. Right, so let's create 3 banks to trade with as well. Bank 1, Bank 2 and Bank 3. Now the reference to BOD is to a UK cartoon from the 1970s with a ball character in it. If you're not from the UK or you're under 40, it's certainly worth looking on YouTube. Now, so here are our 3 bald bankers, and let's ask them to create a price in our new currency pair, Shell Shiny. And there we go. They've created a price for us in Shell Shiny. Fantastic. Thank you very much. Oh, but wait. Oops. There we are. They've created their prices again for us. But wait, every story needs a bad guy. Now, enter our vendor who charges $1 per million commission on every trade. So there are our 3 banks. And there's our greedy vendor charging commission on every trade. You can see why's he got a big smile? He basically is making a wider price for you. So you're no longer getting the bank's price, you're basically paying his price. We want to get rid of him, and that's what we're about. So Star Hat Solutions is different. We provide our service at a low, flat monthly fee. It's your liquidity, your cross-connects, your relationships with your LPs, and managed by you. So now let's trade. There's our 3 banks again, and we try and trade with Bank 3. But they've rejected us. Now their price does look a little bit funny in shells and shiny things. Perhaps they had an IT release at the weekend that went bad, not from us. Perhaps something else happened, God knows what. So what can we do about this? Well, with us, you can control the liquidity from your desktop, web, and mobile. There are 3 banks again. You can see Bank 3 is still making the bad price in Shell and Shiny. What do we do about that? Well, let's disable them. We're not very happy about that, but hopefully they can sort out their problems and they'll come back to the party very soon. Now let's trade again, and we traded successfully with Bank 1. Fantastic. So our summary. We support connectivity to all the liquidity providers via FIX. We support integration to the popular platforms. We do bespoke integration. We've got web services. It's all ultra low latency, of course it is. It's measured in microseconds. And here is our panel on our web client for administering the system. You can see the aggregation prices coming out of our aggregator on the left-hand side, and on the right-hand side you can see the liquidity prices that we're contributing in, that make up the price for that particular peg, and you've got the green and the red buttons that you can use to control the entire thing. And that's basically what Smart Hat Solutions liquidity management tools are about.
Yeah, I had a question. Who's your target audience? Who are you directing this toward?
So we are targeting, we're not targeting startups, because obviously these guys that do the dollars per million commission can soft it very easily up front, so there's very low entry to the market. We're looking at the guys that have established themselves, are looking at moving their technology beyond their pure trading platforms. They're looking at creating a proper IT infrastructure for both their front office and their back office systems.
Hi, you're moving over from a dollar per million commission to a flat fee, whatever the volume that goes through. Do you not feel maybe that some of those who are charging dollars per million will eventually move to that sort of thing? How would that competition affect you?
So one of the key things we've done is we came through our business plan. It's basically based around can we actually support these models, and we worked the numbers very hard, and we've come up with a plan that very much works. We feel that our competitors perhaps spend far too much on sales, far too much on marketing. We are very much focused on service delivery with technology providers. We're focusing on the technology. We're not a broker. We don't need that kind of marketing budget.
Any questions from the audience?
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Next up, we have Paul Bailey from Phonetic.
Good evening, everyone. Firstly, thank you for the opportunity. My name is Paul Bailey. I work for a company called Phonetic. Phonetic is a company that aims to solve the problem of surveillance, compliance from a market perspective, not necessarily just an FX perspective, but from every market that you trade in, we offer a solution for you to remain compliant and also to have a solution that gives proper market surveillance so that you can be proactive in your approach as well as reactive in your approach. But what I want to talk to you about tonight is ATR Integra, which ATR stands for Automatic Trade Reconstruction, and Integra is really our way of saying that we want to be at the heart of everything that we do from a compliance and a surveillance perspective. So as you can see here, the problem we look to solve is every institution that I've ever spoken to from a compliance or surveillance perspective has this problem. They have multiple solutions that look after their voice recording, Bloomberg chat recording, desk turret recording, etc., but they don't speak to each other. They're all siloed within their institutions. So the problem they have is they could be sitting on a problem from any one of these silos, but if they're not talking to each other, how do they know that? So everybody within this silo is going about their business and they don't have a problem. But people in this silo notice that there is a problem that affects these guys, but without them talking to each other, they can't do that. So what we offer is an integrated solution that is comprehensive, complementary, and what it does is, as an overlay, it talks to all of your different systems that are monitoring everything that you need to be monitoring, and it presents the data in a structured way, in a useful way, in a way that everybody can access, and it brings everything into one single place. So it's both a solution that is comprehensive and complementary. What that leads to is a simple return on investment claim. So you have 3 return on investments that we enhance from a compliance perspective, regulatory compliance, you can hand on heart say to any regulator that we're fully compliant with Dodd-Frank, with EMIR, with MiFID II, with MAD, MAR, everything that they're going to come to you, the regulator's going to come to you with. You can say, yep, we have a solution that looks after everything that it needs to, which brings a return on investment that way. From a surveillance perspective, you have a productivity increase, you can reduce false positives, you can reduce offshore costs. If any institution has a call center in Romania that is filtering data, you can use our system to automate the process. And then if you have a fat finger or a mismatch or a dispute, you can instantly bring all of the communications with the trade that is disputed, and it's all automated. So rather than have to wait 2 weeks on a mismatch or a dispute or a fat finger, you can bring it up within the same day, T+0, T+1, depending on when you do this, and you can bring into play all of the communications around the trade that is disputed, and you can show that this is what was tied into the trade, be they communications, be they emails, be they text messages, be they phone calls from a desk phone, mobile phone, be they turret conversations, etc., etc. Bring all of this into play instead of waiting 2 weeks. As we all know, if Brexit happens, Trump happens, anything happens, and the market moves, nobody wants to be sat on a mismatch or a dispute for 2 weeks. You can bring everything into play and clear it straight away, which for me is the key return on investment. As you can see there, 6 billion from Deutsche Bank. As just a single example, within 2015, that was the estimated impact from fat fingers, mismatches, etc. within a single year. So if you can eliminate everything that is against you on the same day, that's what our system enables you to do. I should have been paying attention, excuse me. Okay.
So God knows, simplified surveillance is a godsend for the industry. But presumably what you're doing is collating data that the bank provides you rather than actually doing the surveillance for them, correct?
Absolutely, and that's, for me, that's the key. That is the key to our system. We are an overlay. So if a bank has multiple systems that they spend millions on, we don't want to tell them that they made a mistake. What we want to do is enable them to use what they already have, augment everything that they already have, enhance it, and provide them with a solution that uses everything they currently use and enables them to, from a compliance or surveillance perspective, it's an enhancement.
And just out of interest, how are you handling voice?
So voice is actually where we began. We have a dual strategy with that. So we have a linguistics model, and we also have a speech-to-text model. And the linguistics model is everything we do is bespoke, and so the linguistics model handles most of the work, and then the speech-to-text picks up where the linguistics model misses.
And generates a search.
Yeah, so you can generate alerts which can be farmed out to wherever they need to be. It's you can decide what you want to do based on what we provide.
Thank you.
Just a quick question, too, actually. Is this on site, this product?
Yeah, so currently we have it's the enterprise model, so it's deployed on site. What we're looking to do for the coming 12 months is obviously cloud-based, just to make it less intensive, obviously from a capital perspective and from a hardware perspective. So at the moment it is deployed, but obviously we're looking for cloud-based solutions.
Well, then leads me to, you said about everybody can access this. It's about a question about security as well. I want to know what your thoughts on that were.
Exactly. So part of the move to being able to offer a cloud-based solution is we've gone through the ISO accreditation 9001. right? So 9001 from a data management perspective. And so we're currently just achieved that now. And obviously, we will prescribe to industry best practices. And it's not necessarily going to work for everybody, but for maybe the buy side that are looking to be more agile in their solutions versus tier ones. So we're looking to offer a solution that works for everybody.
Do you have any genuine intellectual property in this that makes it better than a bank trying to execute it themselves?
We do.
May I recommend you speak into the microphone
Sorry.
so we're making sure to get
My mistake.
your answers?
Yes, we do. I mean, the algorithm that forms the heart of trade reconstruction is something we built up over 10 years. So yes, we absolutely do. And what makes us unique is the fact that we don't just come at this from being able to monitor the voice side. We also monitor the electronic communications, be they email, text message, Reuters chat, Bloomberg message, or Reuters message and Bloomberg chat. And we tie it all together, and then we link all of those communications with the executions that are going through the deal capture systems. And then we reconstruct all of that so that if you need to, you can bring every trade you do and link them to every communication that is with it.
Paul, thank you very much. Yeah. Next up is Ron Finberg of Tech.
Hi everyone, my name is Ron Finberg from Capitec. Today, I'm really excited to be showing you our new analysis dashboard. And here it is now. The dashboard is part of our Captivate solution, which provides one of the most comprehensive, where did that word come from? Which provides one of the most complete end-to-end solutions for handling EMIR reporting. But before I talk about our new features, I want to talk to you a little bit about how we got here. Capitec is a technology firm where we've been supporting the financial industry with our core team for over 15 years. One of our products is Captivate. Captivate was created to help financial companies such as asset managers and online brokers easily handle their EMIR derivative trade reporting requirements. How does it work? We take raw trade data like you see here, we reformat it, make it easy to go EMIR submission. One of the things we did with Captivate is we went out to the market to learn out what are they looking for their regulatory technology. This is what we learned. The industry is looking for something that handles more than just EMIR. They want multi-jurisdiction. With so many different countries like the EU and America coming out with their different types of regulations, people want one connection to handle all their reporting requirements. Also, they want flexible connectivity. No one wants their vendor to tell them, this is how we want you to send us files. They want their vendor to adapt to them. Next is file management. We learned that a lot of compliance officers are really having a lot of stress when it comes to a lot of dealing with all the different compliance regulations that are coming online. So they would love to have one place, one hub to be able to see all the different files that they're dealing with when they're handling with the regulatory requirements. So we took all those different ideas. We learned what the market wanted. We took all of them and we built them into Captivate. Captivate now is a multi-jurisdiction product, has flexible integration, and includes a file management system. Let's first start with our connectivity. We provide our customers with two different ways in order to connect files to us. One is through a secure folder for client upload with an SFTP folder. So if a user wants to send us files, they can do it in a very secure way. In addition to that, we can do an integration, a direct integration to our customers, either trading platform or their database through an API or other means in order to automate the daily send of files. Secondly, We wanted to make it as easy as possible for our customers to send their file. So we have a flexible file format where we let our customers choose what file formats they want to send us. So asset managers, if they want to use their file formats from the OMS system, like Bloomberg or Easy, they can do it. Online brokers, they want to use something like one of the popular ones, like MetaTrader or Coronex, we can handle those raw trading files as well. In addition, we support all the major arms and trade repositories. So if a company's already creating files for these major companies like CME Group or Univista, we can handle that as well. Next is multi-jurisdiction. So I'm excited to say today that after starting with EMIR, Captivate now handles more than just EMIR. We now handle ASEC regulation and MiFID regulation, with MiFID 2 coming soon. Let's get to file management. So this brings back file management. So this brings us back down to our new dashboard. From our dashboard, our customers are able to see a clear visual way to see all of their multi-jurisdiction reporting in one view. So they can see their EMIR, they can see their MiFID, they can see everything over here. Features include an easy way to search. You can search for any individual trade report by asset type, by ticket number. In addition, you can even see a drill down. You can click on any trade report and see the whole life cycle of that trade. Last, we added this file management system, which makes it very easy for any compliance person to see files that are submitted to Captivate, as well as the end files that we submit to trade repositories. So Captivate, we like to say, if a regulator is knocking on your door, you got your covered. Last one I have, if your CEO tells you something, you should listen, because you mentioned I should probably take a drink before I started. Would have been good advice.
You mentioned that you've been around for a while. I think you said the product, you've been supporting financial firms for a while. Is this a new version of the product that you've launched?
Okay, so Capitech is, the company itself has been since 2013. The team itself had started from 2001. Captivate was a product that we launched in the beginning of 2015. It's a cloud-based solution that we had created based on some customized solutions for handling EMIR and MiFID for other clients. So the technology's been around for a while, but the actual cloud-based product is nearly 2 years old.
So if I'm an end user, I'm more interested in regulatory compliance. Are you offering regulatory compliance, or are you offering more of a tool to look at MIS and data management?
So we do the MIS, where we take the files themselves and then be able to reformat it in order to comply with the compliance. So it's typically our customers will have a financial firm will have a compliance person that will make the decision. We need the file for EMIR. We need to handle MiFID based on whatever rulings. They'll come to us and we'll provide the technology to make that happen.
So you're bringing both solutions together. So you offer data management, MIS, and regulatory compliance.
Yes.
Yeah.
Any burning questions from the audience? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Our last company, Dima for Leica.
One, two. Most of the times in life, things take longer than we think. And Lao Tzu is talking about those journeys of 1,000 miles. A real example of such a journey is the journey of Richard Olsen. For all those of you in the crowd who doesn't know who is Richard Olsen in 1985 created Olsen & Associates, which is now one of the biggest repositories of FX and financial instruments in the world. In 1996, he created a small startup, Oanda, who is now one of the biggest brokers in the world. In 2012, he co-founded the Center of Computational Finance in the University of Essex. And in 2015, he launched Like, a company that aims to disrupt the financial markets. Like is a fintech whose sole purpose is to create a global marketplace where everybody can trade every asset class. So how do you build such a project? Of course, with loads and loads of regulatory milestones. Somehow you need to connect the product with the regulation in order to truly innovate. Now some more information about our MTF entity. The MTF will start as a traditional MTF offering FX and CFDs, and then it will transform itself using the FCA Innovation Hub initiatives to the blockchain, using distributed ledger technologies. Like is all about innovations. Like is a destination where you, the user, should be able to trade every asset class. It's a foundation that will introduce new technologies such as price, spread, time, priority, where liquidity will be two-sided and give initiative to participants to trade, not just arbitraging. It will be DLT for immediate settlement. It will offer second-by-second interest rate payments for all instruments. It will be free for market makers. It will be highly liquid due to the interconnectivity of the effect of the fixed API, and it will aim to connect to all the ventures. All your information will be encrypted partially on your devices, having all transactions on the blockchain, so no more cancelled trades and no more last look. So it will be totally secure and transparent. And now I would like to show some words from our founder, Professor Richard Olsen.
I've been thinking about Lykke for over 30 years. My plan was always to disrupt capital markets and create a Google-like company which has the qualities of the best art that you can imagine. I want to use a sentiment which is around today, where people around the world realize that something has to change to make this the time for Lykke to succeed. My plan is to create a global marketplace where any asset can be exchanged for any other financial asset, and make this a seamless marketplace which offers unique opportunities for everyone and gives people a degree of freedom that you haven't seen before. We're building this on top of blockchain to create a global market society.
Let me explain in simple terms how DLT works. First, you digitalize your asset using your protocol. In our case, we're using ColorCoin protocol. Then the user, using a trading means, sends the order to the matching engine to achieve best execution. Then the order transforms itself in the blockchain, where you cannot change any of the information and you cannot manipulate any of the details. And finally, the settlement commences using DLP, where you get your ownership of your asset immediately. We raised more than $3 million as a startup using different ways of funding, such as initial coin offering. And how do you join our movement? In 3 simple words, you download our app from the App Store and then you buy shares. And of course, it's not just only for shares, we can give services to all other businesses.
Sorry, that was time. I had one job.
So, sorry, too much. I tried to put them.
But having said that, thank you.
What's the revenue model for the company? How do you make money?
The revenue model is the same like the exchanges. So the more trades, the more money you make. So it's on a dollars per million basis. Yes.
Market makers free and price tags.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, I might got confused. Are you acting as principal in any way here? Or is it all counterparty to counterparty? Or is everything being put through an exchange?
Some of the companies are acting as principal, yes, and some of the companies not. For example, the MTF is a multilateral trading facility. So by itself, it's just matching buyers with sellers and just sending information to settle.
So how do you cope with the credit capacity between different buyers and sellers?
The same way that other participants such as Bloomberg and LMAX are doing, you have a prime brokerage who is issuing the credit for the participants.
So how's it different than just the blockchain aspect?
Just the blockchain aspect is not that easy as you think. With the blockchain, you can settle immediately. So you don't need to worry about the T+2. So if me and you exchange a deal now, then we can settle immediately, which is phenomenal. Also, you have new technologies such as price spread time priority, which is a new way of giving liquidity in the market, where people are competing for liquidity on both sides of the ladder. So let's hope no more arbitrage, the retail clients.
I'm conscious of the time, so please join me in a round of applause for our competitors.
And it's time to vote for your favorite from what is actually a very diverse group. You know your cards, you have your cards, do you see them? So please do fill them out. Sometimes, some of the things I hear as well is just while you're voting, I do sometimes hear that it's actually the convergence of a lot of these different aspects that's happening at the same time that's causing so much rapid change. I mean, we're seeing them in different chunks, but yeah, they seem quite solitary, but they're actually really all coming together in the markets, and it's causing a lot of rapid change in FX. That's sort of one of the things I hear coming from. And that's really what tomorrow's leg of the conference is going to address, which is where we have, I don't know if you have the agenda with you, but tomorrow we'll have a packed day of panels and seminars. We'll have a FX banking panel that's drawn a great deal of interest. We have two former global heads of FX, Kevin Rogers and Mark Barnes. We'll be giving speeches and talks. I will be moderating a panel about advanced technology and how that's coming into FX markets. And a string of other sessions is on offer. So while you are finishing your choice for most outstanding institutional FX product, I need to memorize that on your voting cards. I'd really like to thank you very much for coming. Thank you for our sponsors, CFH Clearing, Divisa Capital, and Gain Capital. And you are definitely invited to join the summit attendees for the Networking Blitz opening party across the hall. But before you go, I actually, just a word. Yeah.
Thanks. Sorry, I was head of FX at RBS about 5 or 6 years ago. And since that time, I moved into the charitable sector. And we're the charity partner. I work for the Centre of Effective Altruism and Giving What We Can. We've kindly been made a charity partner at this event for the next couple of days. And what we try to do as an organisation is very similar to the way businesses operate. We've done a lot of analysis to find the most effective charities. That if you give $1 to charity, it's the ones that improve people's lives the most. And what we try and do is recommend 4 or 5 charities in the world that we think achieve this. If you're interested in that at all, and if maybe the organisation you work for are interested in a charity partner that might be effective and aligned with your business, please come and grab me. I'll be around the next few days. I'm also speaking tomorrow at about 12:30 in one of the seminar rooms. It'd be great if you could come along, so thank you very much.